Pause for a moment and notice what it feels like to be here. Not in memory, not in imagination, but right now there is a quiet certainty to it. You feel present, breathing aware, existing in this exact moment, as if it is the center of everything. The world seems to unfold around this point, and that point feels like you. No matter what you were doing yesterday or what you might do tomorrow, your experience always returns to this sense of now. It feels immediate, undeniable, as though life only truly exists in this narrow window, moving forward step by step. You don't question it. The present feels like a fixed stage, and everything else, past and future, feels like distant territory. You remember what has happened. You anticipate what might come, but neither of those feel as real as this moment. This moment feels alive. It feels like the only place where anything actually happens. The past is gone. The future hasn't arrived. So everything that matters must be happening here, now, where you are aware. That belief is so natural that it rarely needs to be spoken. But look closer. What exactly is this, now you trust so completely? Try to hold on to it, fix it in place. The moment you attempt to capture it, it slips. By the time you notice it, it is already shifted. What you call the present is not a precise point. It is more like a small window, constantly updating, always moving, never staying still. And yet, it feels stable. It feels like a single shared reality that everyone else is experiencing with you. Somewhere, someone else is also in there now, and you assume those moments line up, that there is one universal present stretching across everything, holding all events together at once. It seems obvious. But that assumption carries something hidden inside it. You believe that your present moment is not just your experience, but part of a larger, synchronized now that the entire universe shares, a single slice of existence that everyone occupies together, moving forward in unison. That belief feels so natural that it rarely gets questioned. What if the now you feel so clearly is not a universal moment, but something constructed from your own position, your own perspective, your own motion through reality? And if that is the case, then the feeling of being alive right now might not be as absolute as it seems. It might be something more local, more personal, more limited, because if now is not the same everywhere, then the moment you are experiencing may not be the same moment someone else is experiencing somewhere else. And if the present is not shared, then something deeper begins to shift, because everything you believe about being alive depends on that one quiet assumption that there is a single now in which you exist. Remove that, and the ground begins to move. It feels natural to assume that everyone shares the same present moment. You imagine a vast, invisible slice cutting through the universe, holding all events that are happening. Right now, someone laughs, a star explodes, a thought forms, and all of it belongs to the same instant, your instant. But that picture depends on a hidden assumption that now is universal. To test it, imagine two observers far apart, moving differently. Each has a clock, each records events. If they try to agree on what is happening at the same moment, something subtle breaks. The events that feel simultaneous to one observer do not line up for the other. Their slices of now tilt in different ways, including different events. Nothing has gone wrong with their clocks. Nothing has malfunctioned. The difference comes from their motion, their perspective. What counts as at the same time depends on how you are moving. This is the quiet shift. Simultaneity is not absolute. It is relative. If you draw a line through reality marking everything that is now for you, someone moving differently draws a different line. Both are valid within their own frames. Neither is the single correct present. There is no universal layer that everyone shares. The idea of a common now dissolves into many overlapping versions, each tied to an observer. Think about what that means. Events you place in your future might already lie on another observer's. Now, events you consider past might still be present elsewhere, depending on how that observer is moving. The neat order you rely on, past, present, future, begins to loosen at the edges. And yet, your experience remains unchanged. You still feel a steady presence. You still move from moment to moment. The brain stitches are consistent, now because it must, because action depends on it. But that stability is local. It belongs to you, not to the universe as a whole. So when you say, this is happening now, you are not pointing to a universal moment. You are describing your position within a network of possible presence. The clock on your wall reinforces the illusion. Its ticking suggests a shared rhythm, a synchronized flow. But it is only coordinating events within your frame, not defining a global instant. The deeper implication is unsettling. If there is no single present, then existence is not unfolding in one synchronized layer. Different observers inhabit different slices of reality, each with its own version of now. And those slices can include events you have not yet reached, which raises a question that begins to feel difficult to ignore. If your now is only one of many, what might be included in another observer's present that you still call your future. If different observers draw different slices of now, then those slices can include events you haven't reached yet, not in imagination, not as possibility, but as part of a valid present from another frame. The idea is subtle, but its consequence is not. Picture your life as a line of events, birth, childhood, this moment, and everything that follows. You usually think of that line as something being written in real time. Advancing point by point, the future feels open, undefined, waiting. But in space-time, events are not arranged as a single moving point. They exist as a structure, a four-dimensional landscape where positions include not just where things are, but when they are. Your life is not just a path you are walking. It is a shape that includes every moment you will ever experience. Now consider an observer moving differently from you. Their slice of now cuts through this structure at a different angle. Along that slice, events you consider future may already be included, not because they traveled forward in time, but because their definition of present intersects your timeline further along. From their perspective, parts of your future are not future at all. They are simply there. This does not mean you feel those moments yet. Your experience still unfolds locally, one state following another. But existence itself is not limited to your sequence. The structure contains more than what you are currently aware of. Here is the contrast. You experience your life as a flow, but the universe may contain it as a whole. Think of a film reel. Each frame exists at once on the strip, yet when projected, it appears as motion. You do not see all frames simultaneously. You see them in sequence. Your awareness moves through them, creating the sense of progression. But the frames themselves are already part of a complete set. If space-time behaves similarly, then your entire timeline, every moment from beginning to end, may already be part of the structure. Not predetermined in the sense of being forced, but present in the sense of being included. And this is where the idea becomes difficult to ignore. If there are frames of reference, where events further along your life are already within the present slice, then there are frames where the end of your life is not in the future. It is already part of what exists. From your perspective, that moment has not arrived. From another valid perspective, it is simply another point in the structure, already included. You are not there yet in experience, but in the geometry of space-time, it may already be there. And that raises a quiet, unsettling possibility. If your future exists in some frames as part of the present, then there are frames in which your story is already complete. Not because time moved forward to finish it, but because the structure never needed to wait. If there are frames in which your life is already complete, then the idea of a single moving self begins to shift. You feel like one continuous you, traveling from past to future, gathering experiences along the way. But that feeling depends on the belief that only one version of you exists at a time. What if that isn't how existence is structured? In space-time, each moment of your life corresponds to a different state, different body, different thoughts, different configuration of everything that makes you. You, the version of you reading these words, is not identical to the version of you from years ago or the version that will exist years from now. They are all distinct, each tied to a specific point. Yet you experience continuity. Memory connects those points into a story. It gives the impression of movement, of becoming. But underneath that narrative, there may be no single entity traveling through time. There may only be a series of connected states, each complete in itself. The contrast is subtle but powerful. You feel like a process moving forward, but you may also be a collection of moments that already exist within a larger structure. If that is true, then you is not just the current version. It includes every version, past, present, and what you call future. The self becomes less like a traveler and more like a pattern extended across space-time. This challenges the idea of being alive in only one moment. Because if different frames include different points of your timeline as present, then there are perspectives where other versions of you are just as real as this one. Not anticipated, present in their own context, including the version where your life has already reached its end. That does not erase your current experience. You still feel alive, aware, unfolding moment by moment. But it reframes what that aliveness means. It is not the exclusive point of existence. It is one point among many. So who are you, if not a single thread moving forward? Are you the awareness tied to this moment, the memory connecting past states, or the entire structure of moments that define your existence? The question does not resolve easily, because if the version of you that has already reached the end exists in some frame just as valid as this one, then identity is no longer anchored to a single now. It is distributed. And if that is the case, then being alive may not be about where you are in time, but about which part of the structure you are currently aware of. If your life exists as a complete structure, then nothing about your experience needs to change. You still wake into a moment, you still move through thoughts, choices, and sensations as if they are unfolding for the first time. The sequence remains intact, even if the structure behind it is already there. This is the quiet contrast. Existence may be complete, but experience is not. You do not feel the whole timeline at once. You feel this moment, then the next. Awareness moves locally, revealing one part of the structure at a time. Not because the rest is missing, but because your perspective is limited to a specific position within it. Think of reading a book. Every page already exists, bound together as a finished story. The ending is there from the beginning, but you encounter it only when you arrive. Your experience of the story depends on where you are in it, not on whether the story is complete. Your life may be similar. The existence of a final moment somewhere in the structure does not remove the meaning of the current one. It does not rush you toward an ending. It simply means that what you call the future is not waiting to be created in the way you imagine. It is waiting to be experienced, and that changes the emotional weight of the idea. Instead of feeling like something has been taken away, it becomes a shift in perspective. The focus moves from what will happen to what is being lived. You are not racing toward a point where everything stops. You are inhabiting a sequence that reveals itself from the inside. Each moment is complete in itself, even if it is part of a larger whole. So when you consider the possibility that there are frames in which your life has already reached its end, it does not cancel the present. It places it in context. You are here in this moment, not because it is the only moment that exists, but because it is the one you are currently aware of. And that awareness is what makes it feel alive.